in those days, you would really make music if you had a projection of this is what I want to do in my life. I want to
Right.
become a musician because this is what I want to do. I want to write music. I want to tour. Uh, this is my lifestyle. While now many people are writing music just in the attempt of becoming popular or rich.
Christina, it is so wonderful to talk to you. The 10th album is finally coming. How are
Yes.
you feeling?
I am feeling so excited because obviously I know everything about it because I wrote it too. I know everything about the booklet. I know it all, and it's always very hard to keep the secret, and it's always very hard to count the days,
Yeah, yeah,
knowing
yeah.
that it's finally coming out. But I'm so proud of it, so I can't wait for everyone to listen to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 10 albums and a few decades now already. This is nothing new for you, but with, if obviously if we didn't have a global pandemic, we may have not have had to
Exactly.
wait 6 years before this new album. But with
True.
this longer time between albums, even for somebody as experienced as you, does that make this a little bit more exciting, scary,
Well,
nervous before you see the
well,
reactions?
let me say that I don't feel that we've been around for so long, which is, strange, but it is really like this. I mean, we are still feeling
Hmm.
very excited for everything new that comes out, everything new that we write. I don't feel that we've been around for a couple of years, but
Couple, just a few.
I think that the pandemic definitely changed many things, not the obvious ones for everyone, but also because for us it happened that in between we rewrote a record called Comalies, which is a cult record for Lacuna Coil. It was the one that made us do the step further, let's say, in our
Yeah.
career, because it got us a lot of attention. But it's also the record, and I'm talking about the remake, that
Hmm.
brought back so many memories. We found ourselves to listen to the old music, and maybe that stayed with us more because that's when we started to write new riffs and throw new ideas for the upcoming new record.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So probably this made possible for us to bring a lot of old school vibes from the past. And this is
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah.
I found out after I started to do interviews and I started to read comments on social medias from people that were hearing the songs that we put out already. And like I was like, "Wow, I didn't even notice this. We actually did it because it's still us writing music, but we didn't plan it."
Yeah.
And that's the magic of music. You can never know what's coming out of you.
Pull me down. I have to fall down to climb back up.
Those old school or early days of vibes that you're talking about that may have seeped into the record, I'll describe it this way. The moment that I hit play and the siege started happening, there was this holy shit feeling of the band sounds so re-energized. Not that you ever lacked necessarily energy before, but this album, more than the previous few albums that came, for me really feel like this band feels young again, or what have you. So do you feel that then now as well, that there's a bit of a new wind in your sails?
I don't know about the re-energized thing because I mean we've always been very passionate of every
Right.
new work, but as I said, it's probably because right after the pandemic, it was our first real work in which we met each other in person, in which it was possible to meet in the studio and test vocals and new music, and this didn't happen in many years. So of course we were extra excited to put out something new, and we knew that we wanted to go. That's the only thing that we really knew at the very beginning, that we liked the fact that we were going in a heavier direction. This already happened with Black Anima, but we found out even more throughout the live
Yeah.
shows that we wanted to go heavier instead of like getting softer.
This album, especially like when you start hit play and you hear the song after song, all these songs bring a very, I find, quite a different vibe from a music perspective. There's definitely lyrical themes that kind of flow throughout the album, but I'd like to call this album like a single heavy album. Like a lot of songs could be a single, if you will. This must have been a difficult one to look at all these songs and go like, these are the ones we're going to pick to highlight. I can imagine that the band had quite some conversations about this, because I feel like the singles that have come out are great singles, but you could have easily picked 3 or 4 other songs that nobody has heard yet so far that from my listens will do just as well live. We'll get a good reaction to it, have that punch, but then it would have seen a different side of the band or of the album. Maybe is there some truth to that?
I think there is truth to that, because we take good care of every single song, as they are all not singles, but songs that are not just like feeling songs that just to put in a record. So I think that everyone is worth of attention. But as you said, they are sometimes with a different vibe. A song like Sleepless Empire would never be a single that you can that you can propose for like radio stations, for example, because it's not a radio song. So there are some steps that you usually do in marketing in terms of like you picking a song or another. You try to present the variety of songs for the right moment. But yeah, with us it's really difficult. It's always difficult to pick up a song that can become the next single, and also decide the playlist, playlist in a way that the listening it's very organic. We still like records to be listened to from the first song to the last one. So we always try to put the song together like it's a journey that you're going to do together with the listener.
Without spoiling too much, there is a little special extra something for the people, like the fans that get the box set. You mentioned that you've been writing all the stuff for that. What can you share about a somewhat hidden game in this box set that the fans can look for?
It's been told, so we can talk about it. In the deluxe edition, there will be an Oracle game. So it's been inspired by table games that we play with, but also do you know the 8-ball?
Magic 8 Ball.
The Magic 8 Ball. The idea was mixing that and also mixing the tabletop games world. So basically, it would be a printed paper with different phrases related to symbols, specific symbols created by Toderico, who's the artist. Illustrated every single song on the booklet, and there will be 2 collectible special dice, one red and one white, with those symbols. It will be like a D20, but with symbols, and you will basically be able to interrogate on everything, like how my day is going to go. You throw the dice, and there will be 2 dice and 2 symbols that you can combine together, reading the phrases and interpret it the way you want. So it's something fun that, of course, it's not just like a crystal ball, but we thought that it would have been cool to include something related to games, because we love the whole world. There will be special Lacuna Coil dice in the future as well.
All right. Well, that's exciting. If there was like no, let's say that resources and time was not an issue, like on your like bucket list or wish list, like to take the art of Lacuna Coil outside of music, like you're doing with this game, is there like an ultimate thing that one day you'd love to do?
There are many. There are absolutely many. They're all related to the nerd world. So from a video game with us as character, I
Yeah, yeah,
already
yeah.
saw myself into the Iron Maiden game. So it was cool to see, myself with the Black Anima outfit in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
I found out later that I was a non-playable character. I was an NPC on one of the Warcraft games.
Oh,
I
really?
found it out. I was like, I didn't know that. It was just like, yeah, there is your character. I mean, it doesn't look like me. I'm a humanoid in Shadowlands. And you can find me in an area where there are other characters inspired by the metal world. But I didn't know it. I found out
Oh,
through a
wow.
fan. And it was the most beautiful surprise. It would be cool. I mean, we also became miniatures for the game Zombie Side.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another step, in a different direction. I would love to see a full figure of myself and Lacuna Coil, like figure, well, not like this, but
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah,
something
yeah.
like
I've got
would be cool.
here.
Like a movable figure would be, oh, amazing.
Yeah, 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 no, for sure. Well, I think I have right here. One second. We basically need a version of you like this.
Oh, I got it. I got it too.
There you go.
Got it too. That is so cool.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Yes, yes, yes. I love figures. I love, all the collectible things like this. I love
Uh,
rings as well. So we
we
already
can
have
tell.
it. Yeah, yeah. All subtle and small. There have been like rings related to us. There are so many things that I would love to do, or like a new clothing line, but with different stuff though, not just a printed T-shirt, but something maybe
Right,
more
right, right, right.
more Japanese cut oriented, something in between the metal world and the video game
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
outfit. There are
Inspired by
so many
your
things that I would love
live
to
show
do. Ooh,
outfits and stuff like
so
that.
many
Yeah.
things, damn it.
You're coming to Toronto. You're coming to a lot of places in North America. You're going
Yeah.
to South America. You've got a bunch of festivals announced. Like, it's going to be a crazy busy year for you. This package that you're doing for North America with Unearth, In Flames, and Machine Head, it's just a wonder. I mean, especially for, again, people like myself that were like teenagers in the late 90s. That's just so what, and knowing that obviously in a package like that, there are some limitations for you, not only from a production perspective, but also from time. You've got 10 albums now. You've got all these cool new songs to promote. That's rough to build a set list. What can
Oh
we
yeah.
expect?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna be bringing the new stuff, of course, because that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're promoting. But also some of the old stuff. What we thought about is to maybe change songs here and there according to different cities, because as you said, time will be somehow limited. I mean, we're not going to be playing 10 minutes, but we're not going to be playing
Right.
1 hour and a half.
Exactly.
So it will be. It will be something in between. I think that it will be around 40 minutes, 50 minutes. We're aiming at 40 minutes, 50 minutes. So it will be a mix of different songs. And as you said, it's becoming more and more difficult. But we'll figure out, the singles that we know people want to hear, and maybe we will also see which are the most loved songs out of the record, and we'll bring those on the road with us.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. Now you mentioned before, I don't feel like we're, that old yet. But you also mentioned like, yeah, things kind of exploded for us with Comalies
You're
and all
not.
that kind
You're
of good
as
stuff.
old as you think you are. Literally,
All right,
literally,
good.
literally. Just a number. Age
There
is
you
just
go.
a number.
There you go. But when you do think, I mean, as a band, you've celebrated milestones, 20th anniversaries of the band, of albums, and all the kind of good stuff. when you think back of those early days when you had the first two albums, let's say, because I feel like with Unleashed Memories, like that's when things really started to change already. I remember that album being album of the month in many magazines, and magazines were like pushing your songs on their sampler CDs, which was in those days the best way to learn
Yes.
new songs and all the kind of good stuff.
True
Are
magazine.
there
CDs on magazine. Woo.
Yeah, I mean, I bought those magazines for the CD first and foremost in those days. Are are there things you miss from those days? Those, I mean, obviously you have so many more resources now, and you can do maybe much more. But there's also now a brand, and there's an image you have to live up to. And obviously, with the third album, not just a band, but you yourself became all of a sudden this highly publicized figure in our world. Of those early days, are there things that you miss these days?
Many, many, because in those days you would really make music if you had a projection of this is what I want to do in my life. I want to
Right.
become a musician because this is what I want to do. I want to write music. I want to tour. Uh, this is my lifestyle. While now many people are writing music just in the attempt of becoming popular or rich, which, by the way, if you want to become a musician and because you want to be rich,
Definitely play
change
metal. Yeah.
now. Yes. Like, do something else. Anyway, I miss the fact that you couldn't spoil a record beforehand. I loved to wait out of record store anxiously waiting for the release day.
Yeah.
I knew that, an artist would put out a record in those days, and I was just like waiting in line and getting excited with my friends. And we didn't have a lot of money. We would maybe decide, okay, you are going to buy this record. I'm going to buy this record. We're going to exchange tapes so I can listen to that record too. There was a curiosity of finding new music, absorbing more music as possible. And now I don't see the same respect of music. Now it's taken for granted. It's all around us, but we don't realize how important it is on not only the generic listening of music, but also on soundtrack of movies, of video games, of commercials. You go
Yeah.
to the grocery store and you want to hear something in the
Yeah, yeah.
background, but you don't realize it. So that's what I mainly miss about the beginning, and also the fact that it was easier to tour. It was there was more money also from labels to invest in bands, so they will help you tremendously, in touring more. You would play in a festival, and they had more money because everybody had more money back then. So it was easier to do stuff. And now everybody's struggling even to organize a tour because everything is super expensive. You have to fight with other bands to find a tour bus that it's free for that period. Everything changed,
Yeah.
but there are still, a lot of cool things about the present, because if it's true that there are many bands and overloading the market, at the same time, one of your record can be listened to by someone that it's on the other side of the earth,
Yeah.
which was not possible back then.
Yeah.
You can make better recordings because of technology helping out. It's a mix of things. Whether you look at the past or the present, you always have to look at the glass half full.
Yeah.
Either way.
What I hear you say is the music was the most important thing. And you already kind of touched on it. Like, once you exploded with Comalies, like other things started to take over, at least in the broader scheme. And I mean, I remember very vividly, in Europe at least, that happened with, the French Hard and Heavy magazine when you and Angela were on the cover, and everybody had that copy of that magazine, myself included. I'm not gonna lie, I had that magazine, I had the poster, all that kind of stuff, and that did two things. That started two conversations. One was, hey, there's like this new generation of female pioneers in the world of metal, and that's cool, and all of a sudden there's more attention for that. But at the same time, another conversation was also like, hey, look at these hot girls. And with the sad example of Revolver's hottest chicks in metal every year and what have you, and it went down that avenue as well, which I'm sure that you felt pushed into at times as well. And we're now 25 years later.
Mm-hmm.
How do you look back on those on that evolution? I mean, I don't want to be another guy asking you like, what's it like as a girl in metal, but
not a problem at all. The thing is that I never saw the malice in it. I always thought that it's actually a very powerful thing for a woman to be feminine. I love women power. I love to be empowered by who I am, and I don't want to hide myself because I'm a woman, and if I show my legs, that means I'm worth less. That's not my problem. So when I actually went on that cover of Revolver magazine, because I was the very first woman to actually appear on that cover, for me it was just like the biggest honor, because it was the first time that a magazine, an American magazine, would give a woman the pleasure of being on a cover. So for me, it was something that blew my mind back then.
Yeah.
And I was just happy if more women could come on board of, you know, this women front, a female fronted bands or stuff like that. Even if that's a definition that I never liked.
That's a dumb title.
Maybe because I was coming from a different world. Before Lacuna Coil, I was listening to a lot of dance and R&B music. So for me, it was already normal to see women like playing music and singing. It was nothing new. Metal was prominently followed by guys because it was a more aggressive and heavy sound. But I never looked at myself as the different element, or I am different, or I'm worth less because I'm a woman. So it was never my personal problem. It is true that perception of people, you have to deal with it. You have to expect a reaction. Everything you do, everything you say, you have to expect a reaction. And I would never go over the line, showing myself, but that's because I don't want to do it.
Right.
But I don't care about what other persons want to do, other women want to do with their body. It's up to them, and I'm not going to judge them. But for sure, you have to prepare to a reaction as soon as you do something. It's discouraging that they only see, the look of it. But I'm also sure that every woman included in those Revolver magazine hottest chicks in metal were talented as well. So at least, we got attention back then. And I mean, it happened to ladies as well to look at a singer because he was hot or consider sexy a singer. So whatever. If you can use it as a tool to get attention and you're okay with it, as long as it's your decision, you can do whatever you want.
The reality is that when I and thousands of others will see you play in Toronto in a few months with that great package, there's gonna be a ton of women in the crowd, and a lot of those women were felt probably more comfortable being in the metal world because of people like yourself doing, paving the way.
Now I can see
for
it.
Some time
Sometimes
now.
it's even more than 50-50. It's crazy. So many ladies got closer to metal, and it's amazing because I mean, music has no sex. So
yeah. Absolutely. Well, I look forward not only to this new album finally coming out, and everybody getting to discover all the fun songs, whether they were singles or not. And then can't wait for these crazy tours to kick off. You'll be crisscrossing North America all of April and more. And then back to Europe for the summer festivals, which will be hectic as well. It's going to be a great year for Lacuna Coil. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure, Jasper. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And see you in Toronto.
Absolutely.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.